Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, Senate resolves to investigate face-off in Abuja between operatives of the EFCC and agents of the DSS and NIA. President Buhari inaugurates Audit Committee on Assets Recovery by government agencies with a mandate to ensure proper documentation of all assets recovered. Gulf of Guinea ministers solicit greater financial commitment from its members to tackle maritime insecurity. And Zimbabwe's incoming president, Emerson Mnangagwa, returns from exile to take over from Robert Mugabe, promises to create jobs. And in business news tonight, Hong Kong strengthens partnership with Nigeria in efforts to form economic integration program between the two countries.
In sports tonight, Chelsea is through to the knockout stage of the UEFA Champions League after a resounding victory over Karabakh.
And from Abuja, re-elected Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano receives a certificate of return from INEC, promises to fulfill campaign promises.
We begin tonight from Abuja, where Tuesday's face-off between EFCC operatives and men of the Department of State Service has caught the attention of the Senate. As it's sitting today, the lawmakers resolved to launch a probe into what many of them described as an embarrassment to the country. The upper chamber has also set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter. Our correspondent Linda Akibe reports.
A hot exchange of words between operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, and security officials from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. There was drama as EFCC officials attempted to arrest the former DSS boss, Ita Ekpeyong, and the former boss of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, Ayodele Oke. The EFCC on Thursday, November 21st, descended on the Asokoro residence of the former DSS boss to pick him up in connection with funds the agency allegedly collected from the office of the embattled former National Security Advisor, retired Colonel Sambo Dasuki, before the 2015 general elections. But the acting EFCC boss maintains that there is no going back on the plans by the agency to get the former DSS and NIA heads to answer questions relating to the case under investigation.
I'm telling you, nobody is above the law. The law must take its course.
Thank you very much, sir.
And if there is no offense, we don't go for. There must be strong reason before we went for that thing.
The tirades between sister security agents is heavily criticized by lawmakers.
We are not here to say who is at blame, but we are here to say Nigeria, we have been embarrassed before the international community that two sister agencies will engage in fisticuffs, arrest and stoppage of arrest. Mr. President, this is a recipe for national disaster.
A federal lawmaker puts the blame on the table of President Buhari, but the Senate leader disagrees.
We are calling on Mr. President. He has to sit up. He should be up and doing. He should call these people to order. There is no arbiter, no one to come in between two agencies that belong only to one person. Because these two agencies report to one person, the presidency.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, is in full control. Is in full control of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The statement by our colleague is unacceptable, it's not right, it's wrong.
The Senate takes a position.
The prayer is that the Senate do investigate the incident between the EFCC, DSS and NIA over the arrest of Mr. Ita Ekpeyong and Mr. Oke of DSS and NIA respectively. Those in favor of prayer want to say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
It is not uncommon to see clashes between security agents in Nigeria. On November 11th, security aides of the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, and the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, clashed in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, in full glare of the world, an act which has been widely condemned. Linda Akibe, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the president is stepping up his war on corruption with the inauguration of the Audit Committee on Recovery of Assets by government agencies. The three-man committee is to undertake an audit of all recovery accounts established by government agencies up to April of 2017. Our correspondent Ibrahim Adra reports about this and the decisions of the Federal Executive Council at its meeting today.
It's a brief ceremony at the President-Wives Conference Hall, but critical to the Buhari administration's anti-graft war. In 4 weeks, the committee is to take stock, audit and provide comprehensive figures of all recoveries by government agencies.
The decision to inaugurate this audit committee on the recovery and management of stolen assets within and outside Nigeria today is therefore the next step in ensuring that all returns filed by the various agencies are accurate and consistent with actual recoveries made.
President Buhari is emphatic that the move is to check dishonorable conduct by any individual or agency. The committee members are ready for the job at hand.
It's a call for national duty, and as Nigerians, we respond, we're ready.
Nigerians expect us to carry out the duty efficiently, diligently, without compromise.
The weekly Federal Executive Council meeting holds at the same venue, at the beginning of which a minute's silence was observed in honor of the late Vice President Alex Ekweme. The meeting discussed and approved the takeover of the Azure-Gira irrigation project completed in 2008.
We propose that after negotiation, the contractor will be paid a total of 606.31 million naira for the 8 or 9 years that he has been maintaining and operating the pipeline.
Then the efforts to consolidate on the gains recorded in the ease of doing business.
We then got approval from the council on the two recommendations, one on the National Action Plan, which again builds on the National Action Plan 1 that was done earlier in the year, and that approval is to continue the good work that the Enabling Business Environment Secretariat is doing.
In its report, the National Bureau of Statistics states that the mining sector contributes over 8% to the gross domestic product. The council, however, promised to improve on this figure.
This memo went to council for the procurement of these 50 Toyota Hilux vans for the sum of 987 million naira at a set piece of about 19.3 million naira per vehicle.
Many critics of the APC-led government's war against corruption have consistently sought to know how much assets have been recovered by the administration. Those figures might just be available when the Asset Audit Committee turns in its report to the President before the end of this year. From the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
And on security, residents of Adamawa State have been asked to assist security agencies with information on any security breach in their areas. This appeal is coming from the state governor, Muhammad Jibrila, less than 24 hours after a suicide bomber detonated explosives in a mosque at Mubi, killing more than 20 worshippers who were observing morning prayers. The governor, who's out of the state on official duty, has also sent a delegation to Mubi.
Tuesday's terror attack on Mubi community in Adamawa State leaves behind a tale of sorrow and perhaps a big blow on the fight against terrorism in Nigeria's northeast. Survivors of the deadly attack are still in pain, and bodies of more than 20 victims of the attack already deposited at the morgue. They say it's one attack too many, shaking the soul of Mubi community and leaving behind a wound that might take a while to heal.
In our record, we have 23 deceased, which people that lost their lives, and we have 46 casualties from bed. They have referred to Federal Medical Center Yola 15, and others are taking medical treatment here.
There are conflicting casualty figures, but officials of the National Emergency Management Agency and health workers at the hospital put the record straight.
The hospital records and from records from the health sector working group and an personal evaluation which we have conducted with you people around here, we have 21 registered dead. Then we have over 20 who are injured. Those that fall within the serious injury category were moved to Federal Medical Center Yola. They are 8 in number.
A government delegation headed by the State Deputy Governor, who's also from Mubi, is here. First, to commiserate with the people, assess the level of damage, and then see how survivors are responding to treatment.
I want to appeal to the people of Mubi to be very patient and calm, to take heart. And the next thing is to ensure that we have security arrangement properly in place, especially when people are entering mosque. They should be screened properly, even mosques and churches and public places.
Mubi, just like many communities in the northeast, has suffered several terror attacks. But with this latest attack, all the people are asking for is better security, protection of lives and property, and forestall unforeseen attacks.
And staying with the security threat in the northeast region, the president has approved the stationing of a full battalion of special forces in Zamfara state and the operation of the newly established 8th Division of the Nigeria Army in Sokoto. And this is coming against a fresh round of directives to security operatives to crack down on bandits operating in rural communities in Zamfara state. The president has also approved the movement of the 1 Brigade of the Nigerian Army from Sokoto to Gusau upon the takeoff of the 8th Division. To tackle the desperate actions of Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast through the use of mostly female underage girls as suicide bombers, the president has approved the setting up of an intelligence fusion center in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, for the purpose of gathering and sharing intelligence among the security agencies in the country. Members of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, including Nigeria, have been asked to make greater financial commitments to its budget in order to tackle maritime insecurity in the region. The GGC Executive Secretary, Ambassador Florentina Adenike, told officials of member states about a strategy for the revitalization of the Commission with the involvement of experts and relevant agencies. Ambassador Adenike was speaking at the 10th Ordinary Session of the Council of Members in Abuja. Our correspondent Gloria Umezuki reports.
Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jeffrey Onyama, welcomes representatives from the 8 countries of the Gulf of Guinea to the 10th Ordinary Session of the Council of Ministers in Abuja. Securing the Gulf of Guinea, primarily through greater financing of the Commission's crippling budget, formed the crux of the matter.
The GGC cannot function without the financial support from our members. It is our fervent hope that these meetings will approve the revitalization plan and thus give the Executive Secretariat the blueprint to follow in its effort to contribute to making the Gulf of Guinea region a vibrant region for sustainable development.
Supporting the consensus, other ministers harped on the need for a wider involvement by member states who now struggle to meet their financial obligations to the region, especially to resolve issues of illegal migration and environmental pollution. Nigeria's minister made no bones about a stronger political will.
It's absolutely important from the economic point of view that we stabilize the Gulf of Guinea, and there are a number of countries that all share or border the Gulf of Guinea, so we all have to cooperate amongst ourselves to really ensure the viability of that area and to exploit it for economic benefits. So it requires greater political commitment, by all the countries. So all the various sectors, NIMASA, the Navy, and others are also taking steps for us to do also our part, in securing our part of the Gulf.
The Gulf of Guinea Commission, headquartered in Angola, also generates awareness among member states on the need to maintain security in its territorial waters.
Well, clearly there are daunting challenges facing the Commission that this ongoing meeting is supposed to address, but primarily member states are hoping to garner more financial commitments to address once and for all the maritime security issues facing the region. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, Lagos State High Court Judge Adedayo Akintoye withdraws from the trial of Federal High Court Judge Justice Ngajua following allegations of bias. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.